Okay, hi everybody. Sorry I'm a minute late there, but I was up to things, troubling things. Anyhow, I hope everybody's having a good day. I have been. I'm feeling really good about today. Got some stuff done. Josh was over and helped me out of a situation that I got myself in. I am chaotic. I'm a chaotic creative type, and so I have a constant habit of putting something where I can find it because I'll need it later. If I put something where I can find it later, fill in the blank. I can't find it later. So that's just how it works. So Josh came over and helped me out. All right. So yesterday's page, I put it up on the screen. This was a good fun page to do. I've already stuck it away in one of the portfolios. But this was great. This is a great fun page to do. I really enjoyed the mixed media application of it. Let's see if I can find it in the book, because I've been loading the book up with pages so that I can, just have them in a place where they're taken care of, and I'm not going to wreck them. So the original art is tucked away in one of my portfolios. I've got a number of these. These are 11 by 17 size. I've got another one that for the smaller size pages. I need to optimally pick up some of these for 8.5 by 11, but we'll get there one day. Anyways, this is a lot of mixed media stuff. If you saw yesterday's stream, you saw some of the processes I went about utilizing so that I could put it together. But it's just a feel-good thing. The concept behind this is that the suggestion is a griffin and a gargoyle, and that came from the Silver Granny. Silver Granny and her Grumpy Grump, I think is the name, and her name of her YouTube page. Awesome name. Really like that name. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. The conception of the page is really basic. Here's a griffin moving through the skies on his way home, where he's perches along with his gargoyle partner and starts to tell her about what he learned through the day. That's it. That's the whole thing. Sometimes story isn't the great opening, the great climax, and the great conclusion. Sometimes story is the moment. And so that's what I was thinking on this page. The start of it, of course, being him going home, him perching, and then him regaling his partner with his day. That in and of itself is an action. So technically it follows the course of action. But leaving it there, mid starting point of a conversation is because this is what they do. Sometimes it's just about exploring a moment instead of having to fabricate an entire situation of the griffin and the gargoyle and the great complex challenges of the universe. Hiya, Chris. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Anybody else that's in the balcony right now, or just spectating there, watching in? Yeah, this is a good day. This is a good day of productivity. I've got a whole bunch of pages prepped and ready to go, but I thought I'd show you a couple fun things. Sketchbooks. Are you ready? Not my sketchbooks. Are you even more ready now? Okay, I got a couple things to show you. One is something that I treasure. Something else I forgot to show you is that when I was picking up stuff the other day, I got a bunch of postcards. That's these. These are them. And Johnny Canuck, Nelvana of the North. There's Johnny Canuck. There's Superman. Superman was co-created by a Canadian. I don't know if most people realize that. There's Captain Canuck. My friend Richard created Captain back in the 70s. great guy, Richard Comely. If you get a chance to ever talk to him at a convention or anything like that, please do. He's a lovely, lovely man. And then Fleur de Lis, which is also from Catholic Connect books. Or no, she's in Northgard. I'm so sorry. She's a Northgard character, and that's from the 80s. So those are great postcards. A little bit of Canadian history. Chris says, cool eagle. Oh, thank you. It's an eagle head. I was going for the griffin. So just got an eagle head and wings and a lion's body. I think that's what a griffin is. That's what I tried for. The other thing I got from my brother. And man, here's the slipcase for it. Let's start off there. The Vitruvian Man. Leonardo da Vinci, the complete paintings and drawings. And so this is a couple of books. Bingo, bango, bango. Right? And the paintings one is reproductions and a complete catalog of all of his works. And, you know, I'm sure people have seen a couple of these. Like this this gal here, I think her name is Tina, maybe? Something. Anyways. Lisa. Yeah. Lisa Moni Myrtle. There's a Big Dinner, something like that. Anyways, I love these books. I really do. And talks about some of his processes behind that, the studies he would do, the execution of it, the pigment application that he would do. Just such a great couple of books. But if you ever really want to have a real understanding of drapery, if you want to have a real understanding of how hair works, I highly suggest you look at the masters, the classics. If you understand the softness and the movement of skin across the face, look at the old masters. They forgot more than we'll ever learn, it seems to me. All right, so Chris says, "Wow, really strange." Yeah, so these are the two books of. One is the complete drawings of Leonardo, and the other is the complete paintings. Hey, Marguerite. Okay, so this is all of his codices and reproductions of all of the pages of his codices. And like there's the screw, right? Does anybody know about this? It's the drive mechanisms for motions of an equal force. Anyways, the Archimedean screw, no, what's it called? It's not called the Archimedean. Anyways, it's a screw that draws water from one level down and draws it up to the next level up. And he figured out a way to put that into the that's the sketch of the Sistine Chapel. Build it like this. Come on. You know. Anyways, this again is one of those opportunities to learn a lot about shape and form and mark making. And look at the studies of Poseidon with these seahorses. Like the lines in those, you know. I just, anyhow, you will learn a great deal if, and then of course, Leonardo was up to no good because he was a participant in anatomy studies, which was considered at the time to be taboo. Head of a dog, right? There's his horse, some horse studies. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. If you get a chance to look at, you know, the structures of a leg moves on a horse. Anyways, if you get a chance to look at any masterworks where you see how they go about making marks, how they go about studying drapery, and it was okay. Taboo. Taboo means in the Leonardo's day, it was considered against God for you to interfere with the corpse, and it was called a taboo. And taboo is a Latin word that we use to say it's against the rules. Don't do that. Bad thing. So but he would be doing all kinds of studies on human anatomy, which is why Leonardo had such a comprehension of it, and subsequently so many artists after him. But he was one of those guys that would be one of the early people that would go to a surgery theater, and to be involved with exploring anatomy. They would only use, this is what I understand, they would only use criminal men. They would never use women. It would be criminal men. They had to be criminal men because they were already fallen in the eyes of the graces of God. Isn't that fun? So anyways, here's some of the studies on how fabric works. And again, I can't, this is just drawings of this. And the cost of the paper, the parchment, the cost of the paper, the cost of the materials to do that at the time. Just baffling. Anyhow, any more of his codices. Studies on form, shape, characters. This is just animals, you know? Anyways, I love these two books. These are two of my favorite things that I have here in the studio. And every now and then, I crack them open and I take a look at them. And so I have a new sketchbook, one of my new sketchbooks that I have. I've shown it here. The softbound one is the one that I'm using for doing traditional studies again. And I'll be sourcing that for some interesting lessons for myself. Okay, I just realized I had this. These are a bunch of the pages that when I was formatting and putting together the new book that we're going to be working on this week to get out through Amazon. These are pages that aren't included because of the licensing issues that it would cause, because it's Universal Horror Monsters and the Brady Bunch theme. Or here's Frankenstein as a hairdresser. Here's Michael Myers from Halloween. This is Halloween number 58, where unfortunately Michael can't find his knife because he's old and is losing his memory. Here's a bunch of horror characters, and it says, I do not like horror movies. So don't. Anyways, these are insert pages. These are all vampires giving dental advice. That's what this page is. Vampires giving dental advice. And this page is what if Bela Lugosi was a rock star? And so it's all blood-related songs. Just fun stuff. The suggestion for this page was Barney's in Rehab. So I drew the actor that portrays Barney as an actual dinosaur who dresses in this costume in order to perform. You know, and of course the other two characters as well, right? Just a silly idea. And this is the first jelly-plated image that I did. And it made me realize that just drawing with the white and pursuing even farther this, like this house went in here. And so when I drew the guy over the house, I realized that, wow, you know, I love what this has done in the background. I love what this has done in the background of this is a shed now, it's an airplane thing that, you know, it's just such opportunities are available from working with jelly plating. So that sort of inspired me, that one. This is, oh, Grandma. This is about how superheroes are boy-powered fantasies. This is my version of Batman, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's a crazy person with a towel for his cape. So this is all shrimped up. 3-word suggestions: shrimp, dragonfly, and jewel. So rather than drawing a crystalline object or a jewel, I drew the singer. And these two helicopter pilots are in a dragonfly, all shrimped up from eating too much shrimp, buzzing by Jewel, the singer, as she's trying to perform. I don't know. I don't make any sense to myself. This page was letters versus numbers as characters. So this was a lot of fun. This is again on a jelly-plated surface. And then this is orange, Cyclops, and any game are the 3-word suggestions for that one. Chris says, a fat Batman? I'm on my, laughing at the vampires. I'm on my phone too. I'm on my phone. Too many small images. Here, I'll hold it closer. Let's see. Where did I put it? Is it here? There, I'll move it really close. There you go. Fat Batman with a bath towel for a cape. Anyways, this is kids stealing gigantic oranges from a Cyclops garden. And the Cyclops says, "Oh, no, dogs, I ain't even. I just know there's some fool planet stealing my oranges." Because that's how Cyclops would talk. This is the Chuck Norris Fashion Action Show. This is a collage. This is the only collage I've done. This is literally the only collage I've ever done. And it's fun. And then this is Christopher Walken goes for a drink. And so I have Christopher Walken replacing Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And what can I get for you, Mr. Walken? So, fella, this place reminds me of a movie. I don't suppose you have any beer. Yeah. Yeah. And this is Ad Infinitum. This is Christopher drawing a one page of Christopher drawing a one page of Christopher drawing a one page, etc. into infinity. That was the suggestion for this one. So infinity is in my eyeball, if you can see that on the right side of the paper. Right? And then the last one to show you is a brief history of not going. This is a jelly plated surface. I loved the colors on it, so I put the image of the forest and the red pandas in the forest with periwinkle and marigold flowers. So this was fun. Okay. I don't know. I just thought I'd show you those. I found them in the studio and went, oh yeah, I've got all these prints I got to put out with that book. So when the book gets released, anybody that orders one, and gives me their address, I'll mail them an original page. Okay, so I've got, that's fun. Your own image drawing to the infinity. Oh, yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it was a fun one to do. It really was. Yeah, so things are coming together. I feel better about being able to get a better focus now with the cameras and the lighting to be better now. I talked about this yesterday, how ridiculous it was that I realized that one of the reasons that I'm washing out everything is because I'm over lighting the studio. Way too many lights in the studio. So now that I figured that out, and I figured it out from reading National Geographic's Photography Field Guide. So that was another one of the books I purchased recently. Okay. What's funny is yesterday's page, Raul suggested create some hybrid mythical creature. Technically, that applies to yesterday's page too, but yesterday's page was suggested by Silver Granny. And technically, it's a twofer. So I've got more suggestions left over from the London Comic Con. And hi, Linda. Welcome aboard. But a lot of the ones that I'm coming across now are licensed characters. I don't really do licensed characters. And that's too bad because I like a lot of these suggestions, but I can't do anything with that. Anyways, this is a suggestion. I'll flip it over I'll fold over the top so you can't see what it says. This suggestion is the moon, but it's bees. Those are the kinds of suggestions that just make you pause and go, how do I do that? Yeah. So I also got a great suggestion today from what Jen Wren says, and that is a puppy thinks he's getting adopted by a family with a kid and is excited, but ends up getting adopted by an old man and is surprised by his joy of who he's with. That is a great suggestion. So I put that in the book. That'll be coming. Well, I've got it on the post. The post is now going in the book. Okay. All right. Jim says, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Jim. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. technically in my mind, and this might hurt my own head, technically today's page is like a Valentine's Day page because it's a nice page about a relationship. Is anybody buying that? Honestly, that went through my head. Yeah, I'll do one about, there's these guys, a nice thing about these people enjoying their day, enjoying their world together. Yeah. Chris is laughing at my trying to validate this page. It's being a Valentine's Day page. Okay, so I have got paper. And this is one of these sheets that I put together. Well, that's not. That's a sheet that just has perspective lines on it. Isn't that fun? There's I'll give you the ISBN number on this if people are interested in picking one up for themselves. I've shown this before. Hiya, Marguerite. Welcome aboard. This is a perspective grid sketch pad, 2-point perspective gridded paper with fade out to edge, at 11 by 17 scale. It's made by Koala Tools. It's made by Koala Tools. Crikey, the number for this one here is, anyways, 125. Sorry. 61252047068 5. Okay. And the code on the Koala Tools is KT-11. Sounds all right, doesn't it? Anyways, so Chris says I have class in 1 hour, so no Valentine's here. We've got a Lent service tonight, so the funny thing is the guy said you can come to this and then have Valentine's afterwards. So that was funny. Especially Disney, they don't like it. Oh well, you can't help Disney. They don't like Valentine's Day. What's the matter with those people? Mickey and Minnie have been together for a long time. Okay, so let's stay some bases the moon, eh? So the suggestion for this has come from, now I'm leaning into that says Rachel. I think that this says Rachel. It's hard to say to people, thank you for the suggestion, when you can't read their name. Anyways. So we've got the bee, the moon, but it's bees. Now, let's see. Is there? I'll let people in the stream pick. Two. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which of these 4 would people like me to work on? I'll show you them in full. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number Quattro. Susie Quattro. Anyways. 4. And numero 5. So let me know, people, which one you want me to work on. And then that's what we'll do today's page. The moon, but it's bees. Chris says 4. Anybody else? Which one's 4? This one? Or is that 5? That's 4. Is that 4? Should have paid more attention to myself. 3. Yeah, that's 4. All right. I haven't seen any other votes come in. This is first to the draw. Off we go. It's a good color. It's a good color for doing some bees. Doing some bees. No, not the bees. Anyways, I'm becoming that old guy. Is like, what? Too soon? No, too late. No, just kidding. Anyways, I'm becoming that guy now. It's my new personality here. Is that I'm always retracting my own silly comments and jokes. Okay, so let's do a couple fun things. How about, let's see, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to use this jar of gel medium. Technically a honeymoon. Oh, nice. Love it. All right. So there's our first circle, and there's our second one going in. So, so here's my idea. Okay, I've got these two circular patterns right here, and in one I'm going to draw a moon, and in the other I'm going to draw our first bee, and then Marguerite said number 4 as well. Excellent. Okay, so it's the same one. We're good. Okay. So the idea being to present these two as here. This is a little bit of a cheeky thing. Let's do. Somebody mentioned Disney. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's switch to the close-up camera now. And we'll move this crazy cat up. But let's go back to the other camera for a sec, just as I get the close-up camera control on. I forgot to do that. I'm sorry. I hope everybody's been having a good day. Is anybody working on something fancy? Or does anybody have some kind of fancy stream coming up? Hey, man. Hey, ladies. Anybody got a stream going? All right, so let's zoom in a little bit on this here crazy image there. Why aren't you working for me? Because I switched the cameras, that's why. Okay, so there we go. Let's move up. So I've got the 3 circles drawn in now, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to take my, Chris says that she's working on a needle felted panda, a panda now. Excellent. Chris, how many needle felted things have you done since the start of the year? That's my exciting and interesting question. I think it's interesting. Okay, so here's our camera. We got zoomed in, and I'm going to get crack-a-lackin'. Okie doke. This is much different. Maybe this is a better, yeah, I think this is clearer, folks. I think we're going to use this one. Yeah, that's much clearer. We're going to use this. Okay. Is anybody else got stuff they're doing? Okay, so first off, I think I'll just draw a bee. Pencil today. That's my decision-making process that you just witnessed. Okay. I had a nice card from Lori, sneaky Lori. She came down to the studio and left it on my desk right here on my computer. She said, "Ha-ha, take that." Right away. Okay, so I'm drawing, let's see, okay, yeah, you can see it nice and clear. So I'm going to start off by drawing a couple, we're going to break this down into elements. We're going to introduce the various elements of the story panel by panel. This is just one. A hedgehog and now the panda has been a rough start with this combined schedule. Classes at 7, back home, back to classes from 1 to 4. For some reason I thought, well, I guess maybe some of those are from the end of the year. I'm sorry, Chris, that's right. Because you do have a number that you've made. How many have you made in total? That's, I think, what I meant to ask. I appreciate you popping in, despite your schedule being what it is. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so I'm drawing in pencil the bee, right? And then I'm going to draw the bee on a flower. One of my favorite Jack Kerouac bits of poetry is in the middle of one of his pieces from, I think it's off of his album Blues and Haiku, with piano accompaniment by Steve Allen. And at one point in one of his pieces, he says, "Hey, bee, don't look at me. I'm not your flower." That is permanently etched in my head. It says, "I think I have around 10 or 12 and sold half of them." That's awesome. I hope you're taking pictures of them before you sell them. Little catalog of them for yourself to look through. Hey, I did all these ones. Okay, so there's the start of our bee. Just the dark forms of it, right? And I'm going to get a yellow. Over here in the studio, I've got some drawers set up on one of my shelving units, and with trays, and in those trays are paint markers and the like so. So that you keep them horizontal and they'll last longer for you. Or so I've been told. So a friend of mine lists himself as the lunch thief online, and Maria, one of my, I think my oldest friend, he used to keep bees. Am I, what do you mean, like prisoner? No, I keep bees. Bee guys don't like the prisoner joke, by the way. So I'm going to start. So I've got the bee I'm putting in, and I'm going to put them on a yellow flower just because, why not? We got the yellow here. I got a white that I can do some of the moon with, or maybe we'll do it in yellow. Well, let's see. But let's draw the shapes. You can't really see it, unfortunately. Hold on a second. Let's find a way to be creative about this, shall we? Yeah, once you get creative, Chris. Can you see that? Hey, you can see that. So this is gold. I'm drawing with gold now. So I'm not completely covering up the information that was put down, this sort of paisley pattern, as I'm putting in the illustration over top of it. I'm actually going to just completely leave a part of it, because I think there's a benefit to that. I think that leaving that inside there is just a kind of a nice way to just add a little bit of something, a little bit of character to the background. Whoops, let's finish the rest of that back. I might, however, use a white and highlight around some of the objects in here. But before that, let's get our flower drawn, our flowers drawn in here. This is a silly composition, sure, but what a crazy and fun idea, though. Trying to catch up on all these. I had 40 come in last year during the con, and I wanted to space them out. I try to do one a week, and so that's why I still have a bunch of them left, and I thought that all of them were just licensed characters at this point, but there's a nice pleasant surprise of the moon, but it's made of bees. So we'll do something with that. Around 10 or 12 of them. That's pretty awesome. Has anybody else got stuff coming up? Frank Salazar is back to drawing sketch cards. I don't know if people are familiar with Frank's stuff, but if you're not, check him out. Yeah, he has a whole bunch of different YouTube channels, but I think his new one is Roll for Tarocco. Talks a lot about board games and stuff, but he's been doing some some sketch cards of characters. So this these paint markers, if you're drawing with them and the pressure gets stuck on something, right? It spatters the paint, and I kind of like that. So we had pancakes last night. Went to a pancake dinner. It was a lot of fun. So where we went, somebody had left paper and crayons on the table. And I don't know about you, but that is just inviting trouble. So I worked out a couple things on that page. And I just on that, and we're talking about like 20 feet long tables. I think they were 24 because it would have been 4 or 8 foot. Yeah, 24 feet of tables. I ended up drawing a lion. I drew an eagle on its own. I drew a lion on its own, as opposed to the two of them mixed together. And I drew a boat. Well, I don't know why. And I labeled them as Birdie, Kitty, Bodie, in case people didn't know what they were. And just left it. Left the table like that. So somebody's going to come across that and go, what in the world? All right, so I'm just putting in some more pieces of information here. And we'll have our bee and his flower. I think I'm going to... Let's have more fun than this. This is a light green. All right, so we'll... cut out our bee from the background here. And the flower he's on. And let's jump over to a darker green. And a couple little hits of value in and about here. Our flowers. Just to add to it, build it up a little bit. Yeah, it makes this better. The moon is made of bees. So here's when I talk about introducing elements, this is what I mean. First off, we've got our bees, and then the next panel is going to be our moon. So spoiler alert, I'm going to draw the moon. So I've left a part of it where I haven't colored it at all, just because I like that value coming through. And why not allow ourselves that? Why not allow ourselves those little interactions with the existing surface? That's why I'm leaving some of this information around the bee. Now I've used this light green, which is this is pretty much the same light green as what's down here in the acrylic Braerdon value. So it works well to just pull this out from the background behind it. I like that. It makes me very, very happy. What do we got? We got a lot of green. We're going to need some little pinches of some kind of red or something. Chris says, I need to go. I'll see you around on Friday. Yes, Excellent. Thanks so much, Chris. Have a good day, and safe trip going into the school. So now I'm putting a little, just little pokes of red here and there, just to move. Again, this is one of those things where I just want to move the eye around, but putting the red in also gives us something to work along with how heavily green it is. By having that red in there is just sort of just working in that complementary, just to give a little bit of directional shifts and spins around there. Got a really dark green here, maybe. Come in with him nearby. So what I'm doing here is that as soon as I put it down, I'm just pushing it with my finger, but just move through the space. I'm going to come back in 2 seconds and go back over our lines that we put down for the we got to get those little antennae from the top of the head moving a little farther in there, just so that you get the idea. It's collecting the pollen. Okay, yesterday I asked somebody if they could guess a reference that I had made, and someone did. And I said I will do a drawing for them. Now, I didn't write down who it was that said it. So if it was you, please tell me in the chat or in the comments for this video, and I will get you a drawing. I also need to know where I can send it. Maybe I can just scan it and send it if you want to. So there's our bee going in. I'm just going to come in. I think I want to come in with this white. Just diffuse this a little tiny bit. I don't want the bee to be lost. I want to accentuate the bee in the environment. So and then down below here. And then I think it's time for us to draw the moon. I could also do a little bit, just making sure I'm not missing stuff. And I can also do a little bit of and let's see if I have any orange here. No. All right, here's our B. Ooh, I got me some dirty hands. Oh, the moon. Hey, did you hear? They found water on the moon. That's exciting news. I don't know if people follow that or not, but water on the moon. I'm going to outline. Just going to put this line on the periphery of the circle. Just to help to clarify for ourselves where that circle is. There we go. So there's our first one. Now let's do the moon. What shall we? All the cool kids are doing it. All right. I am listening today, by the way, to The Hives. The Hives? Really, Chris? That's great. Okay, so here's my fancy tool that I'm using to make a moon. Maybe not. Maybe it's, oh no, that's all right. We'll do it like this. So I'm just going to draw some of the larger shapes of the moon. And then we're going to utilize the pencil as well as some of the white Posca. So I'm just trying a different combination again today. As I was going through the portfolio earlier, I was sort of seeing the sort of mark making tools that I've been, using for some of the pages. Again, I'm looking at the little thumbnails over here. This is my source images. There's these tiny thumbnails, so that it makes me think about what I'm drawing more than just looking and trying to replicate an image, right? Which leads to a little bit of abstraction like we have with our B here, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay. It's the idea of the storytelling that we're after far more so than it is, just reproducing stuff that we could just do with a snappy camera or an image out of some other book or something. Not my jam. Not my jam. There's lots of people that do that. I got no problem with that. But I enjoy drawing it. I tend to like to draw stuff as much as using collage stuff. But I've been deciding, hedging around on, do I want to do some collage stuff? Do I want to try to incorporate some works like that a little bit into storytelling? The Chuck Norris piece that I did is digital. I did that digitally. I found X amount of images and cut them out and put them together and built stages and put people doing the fashion show on the stages and all of that jazz. It's just very fun and fine and good. But I've never really done traditional cut things out of a magazine collage stuff. Not since I was a kid. And maybe I should. Maybe I should allow myself to have some fun. So I'm putting in white and immediately tamping it out with my finger. And just so that it cuts down on some of the opacity in spots, right? And then I can come back in and pick and choose the places within that same area. And now I've got this little undervalue and enhancements So I can have, you know, because the moon's kind of a mosaic of shapes and I guess it's all impact craters and stuff like that. But just trying to find some of that in my representation of the moon here. You know, I don't know what kind of thing I'll collage. Is there any, maybe I should check on the Makers of Mixed Media page and see if there's a collage objective. I think there is. I think I was reading that they have monthly collage objectives, and maybe I'll try to take part in one of those and do a collage page. See, ideally that's a challenge for me because I'd have to have a number of different images if I'm going to have a repetitive character. So maybe it's about collaging the thing together and then drawing in a character. See, I'm trying to think my way and how I can execute that. Or maybe if I can find a few images of the same parrot or something. I don't, you know. So we're just about here with getting this base values down for our moon. And then now we'll come in with some of these little details that are on the surface. Some of these little lines where asteroids will skip across the surface, or when, you know, as they're, the moon is a really great thing because it's sort of like a little rotating shield around the planet, you know, hopefully catching random space debris that's going to hit the Earth, and it hits the moon instead. Thank you, moon. Not as big a deal for that as, of course, Saturn, and more importantly, Jupiter. Jupiter has saved our skin so many times because anything that comes in from the Oort cloud or comes in from the Kepler, not Kepler, is it the Kepler field of asteroids and stuff? A lot of those, in order, they get pulled into the gravity of Jupiter and hit Jupiter and have no impact because Jupiter is massive. And but it pulls those things out of their trajectories, and those potential trajectories could have been towards Earth. So thank you so much, Jupiter. I salute you. So this is one of my favorite pencils that I use. It's generally used in construction, cutting wood and marking stuff. It's a good pencil for that. Okay, so just the picture of the moon with the stars around it is boring. So it's boring. It's not, which is my favorite, but I've drawn it a few times. So we're going to try something different. We're going to do it with the help of Canadian superheroes. How exactly are superheroes going to help us, Chris? Just like that. It's a window. I'm looking for color. Found him. He's hiding. If anybody has any thoughts or questions or wants to suggest, look at that, I haven't even used this guy yet. Thoughts or suggestions of a one-page story idea, or you got some kind of existential dilemma you want us to help you work through, let me know. I know what you're thinking. This is life-changing. You know. You're not being very cooperative. Where's the one? Yeah, there you go. Get over here. Wada. Wada. So the suggestion for today is the moon, but it's bees. It's a fun suggestion. It's a fine suggestion. Why, back when I was a young man summering in Rangoon, I would often say to myself, look, Batra, on the moon, does it not look like bees? And she would say, what's that, dear? Yeah. All right, just making sure I'm not missing stuff as you're listening to my inane babble. Okay. So the brown paint pen that I have is not a very cooperative one. So this is why you see me using this brush here like so. Now I'm going to put a little bit of color in the moon. Moon. That's how I do the moon. I don't know about everybody else, but now I'm going to take the same brown that I've watered out a little bit and come in and apply it over that blue. See if I can thin it out a little bit more. There we go. That looks like a mess, Chris. Just give me a second. I have a plan, you know. All right. So back to this crazy character. So now I'm just coloring in, sky. So the idea here is that you're looking through a window and there's the moon outside. But I have to do a little bit of detail to the window part. But before I get too far into that, I just want to put that sky in first. And then a third. So we've established now, here's the bees. Here's a bee. Here is the moon. The suggestion for today is the moon, but it's bees is our suggestion. I should just put that, leave that up here. The moon, but it's bees. So and now I tighten up these lines for the windowsill. So now when I come in with this brown and blue blend, right? So I'll put it right here. I'll put the excess brown that's not coming through the tip, but gathering, pooling all up around the collar. I think that this is the deep blue that I was using. I'll put a whole bunch of that there before these two crazy kids dry out. We're going to mix them. Need more blue, really. But that's okay. We'll work with what we got. Nope, I need more blue. Aha, aha, aha. No, it's not too strong. It's a strong blue. That's a strong brown, eh? Well, that's as close as we're going to get, folks. See, I was hoping it was going to pick up the graphite. Well, it is now. Maybe the secret was just not using any paint at all. Okay, well, we're getting our moon to appear now. And then I'll put a nice little redefining of the windowsill on here in a second. So while it's not clear enough, the windowsill aspect of it yet, the easy thing about that with working in this format, the fusion of visuals and textual elements, is that I can say, I used to look through my window at the moon all the time. That's it. Something as lazy and simple as that, and we've got the answer to our dilemma. So I'll give that a second. So, bees, the moon, but it's bees. So I guess the clear thing is that now I need to figure out a way to draw enough bees that they're physically making a moon shape, right? And I think the only way to do that is to lay it out pretty straightforward for myself. So I'm going to do it like this. I think I'm going to come in and there's our shape of our moon. But what I'll do is that I'll draw the moon to a whole bunch of bees. Like I'm just going to draw a bunch of bees like they're at their hive. Let me see if I can move this camera so that it, no, I can't. Yeah, let's tilt it up a tiny bit so you can get the whole thing in there. Okay, so what I've got to do now is draw in all of these bees. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll put it in with the gold, and I think you can see the gold. Yeah, you can see the gold. So what I'll do is I'll draw all of the shapes in with the gold paint, and just sort of start to break it down and lay it out. And in that way, you know, as I take it farther and farther and farther with the overlapping of bees, and then we'll start putting in their stripes, we'll start putting in their wings. This way, it's just a moon made of giant bees. So I'm considering as I'm doing this, overlapping bees on top of one another. I'm bending some of the bees a little bit to further the bending of shape of the planet. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing conversation. Hedgehog Panda. Oh, how you doing, Jen? Welcome aboard. Jen, I wrote down your suggestion. That's an awesome suggestion. That's going right there in the list. We'll be doing that one. So by having the bending shapes toward, especially towards the periphery, is to suggest that form. Is to suggest form in the moon built of bees. The moon, but it's bees. This is a bad idea. Well, it's a good idea. It's a fun idea for a page, but it's a bad idea to make a moon out of bees. I'm really pleased with that first panel. I say that more for myself than anyone else. You know, it's important that we have a connection to processes and what we're doing, and recognize when something's going the way that we want it to. So I thought I'd put the occasional hive shape kicking in here, just peeking through. Now there's a really fantastic series called, let me think of it, is it Biologic? Looking on the bookshelf, seeing if I could see it, and I'll show it to you if I can figure out which it is. Well, I can't recollect it right now. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. It's not mesolith. Genetics. I'll show you a really great graphic image for a cover. It's this is a comic. I like to read a lot of European comics, and a lot of European comics do not operate the same as North America's superhero stuff. European comics are far more about story. But look at that cover motif, because this is all about altering genes, right? Genetic altering, genetic manipulation. You know. Jen says, Chris, why don't you go live through YouTube? I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot today. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I think I might tomorrow. And if that's more benefit for me because it gives me a better graphic image, then I'll be sticking with that and dropping StreamYard entirely. Because, you know, the difference that the challenge is being able to figure out how to put some graphic elements on it, and that's the part that I'm just learning about tonight. Well, when I get home from Lent. What am I going to give up? I'm thinking pistachios. I never eat pistachios. Yeah. You only need 50 subs for what? On YouTube? Well, I have exciting news. We're at 299 subs. And I can't get over that. And I'm so appreciative of that. I'm going for 500, so it lets me do extra stuff. But I'm really quite pleased about the 299. I really appreciate everybody taking part, and I hope everybody's having fun. So here is the rough moon built up of bees, and now we've got the shape of everybody. Let's get in there with the black pencil and the white and start adding some bees with the pencil. That's what I do. You only need 50 subs for live. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm able to do lives on just YouTube. It's just that some of these things, like putting up what people are saying and trying to allow engagement like that, I can't do when on YouTube, because I don't know how that works. But again, like I said, I think tomorrow's thing is gonna, and I don't know if I can book any of this. I have to learn everything tonight about it. Now that I got my camera and everything all figured out, and my lighting, I need a better processing system. So these random abstract shapes that I'm putting down now is our bees, and you know, get fancier. I think I want to do the page that you suggested today, Jen Wren. I think I'm going to do that page tomorrow. I'll be doing the puppy page. Is the page about the puppy? I'll be adding some wings onto some of these crazy kids. I just want to get a lot of their shapes put in. It might be easier. Yeah, I think it's just easier to see if I do. And then some of these spaces that I'm leaving out are going to be little peaks at honeycomb to get into the moon. So this page, I think I'm going to take a real turn with. I got an idea for where I'm going to go with it. Where's that, Chris? It's a surprise. This motif here is similar to the page that I did of P&M, which I need to mail those the ladies that page. So hopefully this is starting to look like a moon made of bees. Let's switch this off and see if it's going to let me pull in. Whoops, wrong way. Let's go that way. No, I'm learning how the robot works. Bear with me, folks. So here we are with our bees. Yeah, StreamYard only lets me do up to a certain capacity of, I can't get it, I film everything at 1080p, and for some reason it broadcasts less than that. And we've just discovered this last night. And so that was my decision. And then somebody started talking about it today, and I'm like, that's just cinches it for me. Is that if it's going to broadcast so low, honestly, that is the realization that that's the root of my problem for focus, for it being able to focus in on the images. And so because it was so close when I started sitting down to this today, because I've been, trying to get a couple things done today, that I didn't have time to just engage with doing it straight through YouTube today, but we're going to try it tomorrow. But to know that how all the effort that I've gone into setting up cameras and setting up filming and everything, and then the only way that that's going to look that way on StreamYard is if I'm paying $20+ more Canadian, which is like a nickel American, I realize that, a month for StreamYard services. I'm not doing that. I would sooner just say, no, I'm going with the other. But then, again, I have to learn with the other how to pre-schedule. Because it just says upload video and go live. It doesn't have pre-scheduled video. And that's the challenge. And that might be the reason that StreamYard exists. Okay, so we've got all of our B shapes coming in here. Trying to remind myself, don't cover the whole thing in bees. We're going to leave a couple of spots that we can see through into the honeycomb part of it. And then I don't have the entire circumference of the moon showing. I've got it inside this circular pattern where we're moving towards it or over it. Because in the background, to contextualize it, I'm going to put the earth back over here. So, hey, Frank, I just was talking about how cool it is you're doing sketch cards. Welcome aboard, sir. Is this new StreamYard? Because I don't think my stuff is this blurred, but I haven't been live in a bit. Yeah, it's a new thing, and it's a really, really annoys me. Because we signed up to pay, money a month to utilize that surface, and then suddenly, hey, guess what? Now other people, they'll just pay it. But I would like to call myself frugal. Truth is I'm cheap. Like I have the Photoshop program that I use for the pages that I put together is from 2010. Because I refuse to pay a monthly Photoshop $80 or whatever stupid amount of money that people are paying. A lot of people don't pay it. They get it through their company or they get it through their workplace. But I'm inherently anarchistic, let's just say that. Okay, so here I've started to get the structure of things come together. I'm cheap too. StreamYard is blurry now. Well, I find that mine is. But we'll see. So let's pull back. There we go. This is my better camera, and but I can't zoom. So there's our start of our moon made of bees, and in some of these other spots, I think I'm going to use a. This is brown going to be in any way agreeable. Maybe what I need to do. Paper towel, folks. Maybe not what I need to do is take the thing out of the. What camera am I using? Oh, Logitech. There we go. Check that out. I've tried to clean the head off of the. So I'm coming in now and filling in little areas between the bees. The bees. This isn't Logitech. This is ONN that I'm using right here. So I'm putting the brown down as the base value, and then I will be building up. This is a ridiculous brush. I don't know why it doesn't. This is just faster. It's stupid. Sometimes these things don't let the paint get down to the tip. There's an interference along the way where they pool up around the collar. And I've tried to fix this brown one a couple times. This happens with some of these things. So I'll just take some paint off the collar and apply it with the brush. Take that paint marker, but we're starting to define the shape of the moon made of bees a little bit better. It's starting to become more identifiable. Got a pretty limited palette overall right now on this page. Pretty pleased with that. I never really want to go beyond 5, 6, 7 values on any given thing. Kind of looks like a kind of Klimtian abstract flower pattern or something. Klimtian. I don't know if that's a word, but it should be. Happy Valentine's to everybody. There's a lot of push on coupling and partnering and all that sort of stuff, and I know that a lot of people get all kinds of different things thrown at them. My take is always make sure that in any of these holidays and events, and especially these commercial ones, you make sure to at least celebrate some love with the person that's most important. You. Do not forget, love yourself. Love yourself. Okay, so here I go in with the white. Now, the white is going to, I'm going to start drawing on some wings on a bunch of the bees. And in that way, it stops looking like a pile of worms, and maybe people can get the sense that it's something more than that. I like stories that make you, this is kind of like a crazy conspiracy theory, really. But I like stories that make you subjectively reevaluate things. And somebody saying, you just imagine that the moon's made out of bees makes you go, whoa, right? Especially if you're a creative. Creatives, we get lost immediately in notions and ideas put across us. So I like this suggestion a lot, and thank you for I think it's Rachel that gave me it. Rachel Z. So I think that I'm going to pull this up a little closer. No, that's not going to work. Yeah, hold on. So here we go with the bees. Now the moon is starting to be made out of bees. I think you can see that okay. And then there's our moon. And there's our bee and a flower. You know the bees, right? Okay, like, you know the moon? Well, the moon's actually made of bees. Here we go. So there's a whole bunch of different directions that you can take with a story like this. you've got this. So we've established the identifiable characters in it, the elements, right? We put the elements together, the bee, the moon made of bees. And then the narrative aspect of it becomes, it needs to become something more, because if we want to have it carry through for an entire space, and especially a space that, you know, is, whoops, this whole image is 11 by 17 image, this whole page. Well, we have all of this part of our composition to fill in, not just these top 3 panels. No, you can have text and framing to, like, put some borders in there, some divisions between panels. You can do things like that in order to separate elements and give it a little bit more visual complexity. But you've got all of this part left and the size of this page. Now, you can do a smaller story. You can do a smaller page. But, you know, I like drawing faces and people a lot. So I think having 2 people talking about this conspiracy theory that the moon is actually made of bees, to me, that just seems a fun direction to go with the story, especially if the 2 people that are talking, there's a bee in the room. You know, it just sort of, it just elevates, in my head, it just steps it up to another little tier, another little level in story. Bees, moon made of bees. Dude, that's not true. Just imagine if it was. Imagine if bees were that organized, and then a bee buzzes by. And leave it there. You leave that with the reader, and then all kinds of supposition is going to come out of different readers. One's going to suppose that, you know, oh my gosh, well, what if the bees are organizing? What if it really is made out of bees? What if all the bees attack the earth? You know, or that's not true. Just hit the bee. I hate when a bee's in a room. It doesn't matter. Whatever their association is, we've introduced elements of a story. And because I have a limited amount of space here with the 11 by 17 page, we've introduced elements of a story together. But if we can do that in such a way as it lets them carry the story the rest of the direction, you know, since we don't have the ability to tell a 6-page, 7-page story here, because I do a page a day. And I'm not going to continue that motif through multiple days. People don't care. I tried that last year. It doesn't work. So by presenting enough of those elements in such a way as to have the reader go, okay, and they have their perspective on it, then I think that overall that leaves a better lasting impression and is more successful in that regard. I'm sorry, I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, Jen says, I bought a new set of paintbrushes and Craftimo today. Well, this is very rare. I have got all of these paint pens, paint markers, and it's that brown one that gives me the problem, and it happens occasionally. So don't fear, Jen. Your paint markers are going to be fine. Frankly says, be yourself. Frank Salazar, ladies and gentlemen. It's just me this Valentine's Day, so I took myself out to lunch. Excellent. That's wonderful. Actually, brunch. I felt fancy today. Well, at 4 o'clock, sit down and make yourself a cup of tea and have a couple little cookies and call it high tea. Then you'll be really fancy, and people will be like, you know Jan Rand? Fanciest person I've ever met. It's looking pretty cool. Thank you. That's very nice of you. My poor son had to do a comic for school. I had to help him come up with a story. He was overwhelmed because he can only draw stick figures. Yeah, but you can draw incredibly fun and exciting things with stick figures. One of those pages that I showed today, you can do a lot with a basic amount, right? This is a page that I had to do using only letters and numbers. And in the beginning, there was the letter A. In the beginning, there was the number 1. Hey, what'd he just say? 1, 2, 3, you got a problem there, pal? Oh, yeah. What's it to you, big guy? Well, I'm not big. Hey, 9. And he stacks up to make himself larger. Uh-oh, says the letters. And then 312 says, so you're in for it now. And there's a big giant 9. So you can do all kinds of story using simple elements like stick people or things like that. We did a great, at the Comic Jam that I run each month, we did a great page together of these two guys on one of these pump carts for a railroad. As the one guy is we got to get off. There's a train coming. And he says, no, I'm going for it. And he goes, what are you, stupid? And the train collides with the pump cart, the railroad pump cart. But the guy who was on the railroad pump cart, there's this stick figure guy, and the train is flying through the air, all these, train shapes, as he's like apparently indestructible. And he says, no, you're stupid, and that kind of complexity of story that's drawn with such simple lines, it's still a great story. It's still a great story. Oh my goodness, how cute. Yeah, check out this one. This was a lot of fun. This will be one of the handouts with the new book. But you can do so much with a simple amount of stylistic approach to storytelling, because everybody isn't able to draw like the Leonardo images that I showed earlier today. It's, I can't draw like Leonardo, but at the same time, I'm telling stories the way I'm telling stories. So maybe with more practice, I'll be able to sculpt and paint like Leonardo. Not that I've ever sculpted anything, or that, I'm working on compositions the sheer scale that some of the things that he did. So anyways, I think I'm going to push the story further now at this point, but we'll look at it tonight. I'll do it tonight. I might come on live and test out the YouTube only approach without StreamYard and see how that works. But in the meantime, I gotta get myself ready. I gotta get my hair did, my makeup on. Anyways, I gotta get a couple things done before Lori and I head off for tonight. So thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate everybody coming out. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST. Always here at 2 p.m. EST, Monday through Friday. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. See you later. Have a good V-Day. There we go. V-Day. Hey, everybody. Have a good day. That's good. I like that. Thanks very much, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.